everyone.
Hey, everyone.
Welcome to Wealth Wednesdays. We're so glad that y'all are here with us.
Good to be with y'all.
It is in this beautiful Colorado Springs day.
I know, it's so weird. So we had freezing weather 2 days ago. I literally walked out the front door and vomited on my leg, had to change. And then today it's supposed to, see why I married her? She thinks I'm funny. I don't know if I am or not, but she gives me this false sense of security. Every woman, every man should marry a woman that thinks they're funny, because you walk around and you think you're like a full-blown comedian. Anywho, so you notice the leaves in the back, they're gone. That's because of the snow we got. But today it's 65, 70. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. All right. Well, welcome to Wealth Wednesday.
Wealth
We're
Wednesdays.
so glad you're here. And where we want you to have wealth with your money and wealth with your relationships. So we're excited to share today. We actually, oh, by the way, before we start, we love thumbs up. We love interaction.
Yeah.
We love hearts flying across
And
the
thank
screen.
you for sharing. We had the last one, we had so many people sharing.
Yeah, it was nice.
And
great.
someone even dropped off a can of corn for me, organic.
Okay, this is hysterical. Okay, we have to tell them. Okay.
Okay.
So we have a good friend,
Danae, if you're out there.
Danae. Hey, Danae.
Hello.
Out there. And so last week we talked about
Different ways people were hiding money.
that's right, different ways. And one of the ways the ways they suggested, this person suggested, was to open up your can of vegetables.
Which no one eats.
And no one eats canned vegetables.
Especially me, because it's disgusting.
So Scott went off about how disgusting they were. So I went over to Danae's house and she handed me this can of corn and she said, "Give this to Scott." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
It was
So
even
anyway,
organic, which is sweet. I mean, you didn't have to spend the extra money, but just so you know, it'll never be eaten. I
Yeah,
tried to
that's
feed it to
exactly
your
right.
son who was at our house, and
It
no
didn't
takers
happen.
there. So
All right. So anyway, we love the interaction. We love the feedback, thumbs up, and all that good stuff. All right. So what we're going to do is start a 4-week series on debt. And this month, yay.
everybody
fun.
loves this subject.
Oh,
They
fun
love it.
subject. But we're just going to give you some great input to it, especially around your relationship and how to deal with it and so on and so forth. But this week, we wanted to start with some funny stories, debt stories. We just thought this would be a great way to kick it off. So laugh with us. The title of this is 3 Crazy Debt Stories to Make You Feel Better About Yours. So...
Honestly, Beth and I, just because we've had different companies and we're like everyone else out there, we're kind of doing this life with you.
Yes.
And we've had times where we've had too much debt.
Yep.
And we've had times where we have no debt. It feels a lot better not to have the debt.
Yes.
But the reality is, in our world, sometimes we take on debt and we're all working together. And as financial advisors the last 25 years, we've had some pretty good debt stories, but these are unbelievable. All right, let me read this first one to you because I think this is funny. It's called the gut reaction. And these are actually...
ones that we found on the internet.
Yeah, from other financial advisors where, we sit around and talk about people's debt. So it says...
That sounds like fun.
I know. Credit counselor Scott Monroe from Phoenix was on the receiving end of what can happen when figures are finally totaled. His client came in with a bag bursting full of unopened bills.
Okay, so envision this. This guy's walking in with all these
No, it's a lady.
bills. Or lady walking in with all these
To
bills.
poor Scott's office.
Yes, okay.
So even in the beginning, she wasn't looking too lively. Her voice was lowered to the point where she almost sounded like nothing was coming out. Monroe had her open the envelopes, a technique used to, this is funny, a technique used to help borrowers gain ownership over their situation. So yeah, you kind of have to open the bill.
Right.
And recite the balances as he added them up. When it reached $35,000, she had a look come over her face. Something very unpleasant was about to happen. This is him. I grabbed the trash can, but it was too late. She threw up all over my desk. Monroe scheduled the session until she was feeling up to the task.
Gross.
Projectile vomiting. You have serious debt. Can you imagine someone yakking on your desk? And then who cleans it up? Do you clean it up? You're not even getting paid yet. I would have been like, give me $100.
Oh no, these are financial advisors. These are credit counselors.
Yeah, this is a credit counselor,
that's
but
true.
he wouldn't get paid
That's
until
right.
they consolidated
Oh, that's
the debt.
right.
Dude, Scott, brother from Phoenix. You might need counseling after that one. Anyways, so if you actually start opening up your bills, make sure you have a trash can next to you so that if you pull a yakopotamus, you're prepared. Okay. Whew. Okay, this is a funny one. It says, what do you mean I have a budget? Elaine O'Neill knows very well. Ellen O'Neill knows well. So this is poor Ellen. One particular client had an especially hard time accepting that she had to live within her income. During the session, O'Neill found out that the woman was spending a jaw-dropping $100,000 each year more than her annual salary. That is an annual salary, okay? 100 grand. To stay afloat, she had been drawing equity out of her house, terrible idea, and paid the home loans off with her credit cards.
Credit card.
Another terrible idea. When O'Neill explained the danger of this behavior and that she needed to budget, the client's response nearly left her speechless. This is what the client said. How can I positively budget when I spend more than I have coming in?
What?
She said in a haughty way. O'Neill did her best.
You idiot.
Right. O'Neill did her best to remain calm and reasonable. I told her that was a valid point, which good for you, Ellen, because I would never have said that.
But you
that
just said like, you idiot.
I don't know. I probably would have just said get out. That's why I'm not a credit counselor. I told her that was a valid point, but she still had to spend within her means.
Oh yeah.
My gut says she's in bankrupt now. It's probably 18 months later. She's in bankruptcy court, and her whole family's looking at her like, why?
Yes.
Anyways, okay. Now, divorce at the desk.
This kind of goes in our world.
This is really
love and money and
mojo.
Relationships.
Because we've actually had a similar situation, not this dramatic. See, we wanted to kind of go extreme with you today.
Yeah.
So as you're watching this, you can go, well, at least we're not that bad. And you know what? We said the same thing. Yeah. Thank you for the thumbs up. Whoever thumbs up me, you're not that bad. We aren't either. Okay. Divorce at the desk. Couples make for challenging sessions, but none more dramatic as another one of Monroe's. Man, Scott Monroe, you are the man. We need to become like buddies. A married couple came in, and it started out normal and pleasant. I immediately got the sense that the wife was in charge. Monroe evaluated the budget and creditors. There was only 5 statements. Because the husband barely said anything, I turned to him and asked him if there was anything else. Up came his briefcase, and he pulled out a bag packed with paper bills. The wife was in shock, if looks could kill. He had roughly $80,000 in debt she didn't know about. Now, the most I ever saw was 15. So
no, we've seen some, like we saw 45.
Did we see 45? Yeah. I might have blotted it out of my memory. Never 80.
Never 80. No.
He had roughly 80 in debt that she didn't know about. The husband had been trying to support a lifestyle he couldn't afford and started gambling, lost his job, and took cash advances to pay for it all. The statements went to a post office boss when he left the house each morning pretending to go to work.
Oh,
wow. Now, we don't have time to go into financial infidelity, but if we did, on a scale of 1 to 10, that's a 10 plus.
Yes.
But here's the reality. Sometimes couples go into debt and the other person doesn't even know about it. And then it gets so scary, but then it gets so bad. It always comes out. Like last month, we talked about that a lot, that you might be thinking that you're hiding it, but it's always going to come out. This dude had $80,000. $80,000 that had to come out. Wow. But the reality is that credit is something that most of us deal with. And
we love to hear. So
absolutely.
We are so glad to be with you. We can't wait to be with you for the next 2 weeks.
Can I say one thing too?
Yes, sure.
If you guys have debt stories, send them in. We're not going to make fun of you, and we won't use your name. I promise.
Actually, you can just say you knew of someone.
Yeah. Make it third person. That's what I usually do, and I don't want to admit guilt. Anyway, so send us some stories.
That's right.
You guys are awesome. We'll see you next Wednesday, and as always, make it happen.